and scooch. Let's start sitting up. Got my pillow here. It's such a relief, I have to say, getting this new headset and not having to have a cord coming up, you know, like a battery pack here and a cord coming up my shirt. And oh, glad that thing is gone. I got my old, you know, sending waves through my brain thing. I don't know what's going to happen to me, but anyway, no cords. All right, so we're on our pillows, we're on our blankets. We've got our hips a little higher than our knees. Maybe your legs are straight, and that is a-okay. Get yourself into a position that works for you. We're trying not to arch the back yet. We're looking for neutral curves. I love doing this. Neutral curves of the spine, that's what we're looking for. Always the neutral curves. So we're going to sink down into the earth, sink down into our pillows, our blankets. So resting heavily. And then let's feel the torso expanding, lifting, opening, lengthening. So we find the space that we need for this precious breath of ours, this precious, reliable breath. And we're going to draw that in through the nostrils, all the way down to the deepest lobes of the lungs, if we can. It's a hard season to breathe deeply, and I know we got pollen all around us and stuffed up noses and all kinds of stuff going on. But we'll do the best we can to fill up the torso from the bottom to the top. So get the breath deep into your body. That's going to give you more energy. And let's, as we deepen the breath, so we deepen the in-breath, we extend the out-breath, but instead of stopping after the out-breath, let's stop after the in-breath. So just a split second, we hold the breath in, and then we let the breath go. So the energizing part of the breath is the in-breath. When we hold the breath, we extend the benefits of the inhalation. So that's one way of getting a little bit more energy, is just hold your breath for a couple seconds with a big breath in your body, and then let it go. You certainly don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can breathe any way you want to. Just want to give that little suggestion for a little bit more energy. Big breaths in, long breaths out. We allow the breath to bring us into our center, into our practice, into this moment. We're going to try to use the exhalation to help us let go of things that we don't need to hold on to. Let's let go of perfection. That's a big one. Let's let go of anything that you think you should be doing in your yoga practice, because there is no such thing. And we're just going to let go of all of the judgment we have for ourselves today, for our bodies, and just be free of all that. Because when you let go of all of that, wow, it's just a lightness comes. A lightness comes. Let's keep that. So breathing in and letting go. Let's create an intention. And we're also going to let that go. And then let's all straighten out our legs. So since I talked about bottom up, let's start to warm up that way today. So we'll circle our ankles around first. The other way. See if you can get some movement in your toes while you're circling. Circle ankles and move your toes. And then let's tap our legs. Tap, 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 tap. Put a little space between your legs, and we're going to tap down the inner thigh line, tap up the outer thigh line, tap down, tap up. This is an energy stimulating exercise, getting things moving. One more time. All right, and then let's move off of our pillow and or blanket, and we'll let the knees drop. So we've got our legs bent, knees dropping. So not only do we start to get into our low back, but we get that massage across the rear end, right? So we're massaging piriformis and the glutes, saying hi to those places in our body. And then let's let our arm go gently. It's a gentle little whoosh, whoosh, side to side. And then next time you're over to the right, let's just keep spinning around here and we'll stack your legs or separate your legs, whatever you want to do. Put your hands behind you, lean on your hands or fingertips, let your head turn and look over your right shoulder. We don't have to push to the edge here, the edge of the stretch, just kind of walking our way gently into this territory of rotation. And then let's go the other way. So to the left, and we'll do a gentle little turn to the left. Let your head continue to turn. We're testing the waters here, testing the waters of the low back, starting to wring a few things out, creating a little space in the rib cage. And then let's unwind and come all the way back around. Let's straighten out our legs, take hold of your hands, one within the other. Let's circle. So stirring the pot. If this is too much for you, bend your knees. You can put space between your legs. If that's more comfortable, just decide where you want to be. And then the other way. So we're working our way up. And then let's come right back to the center, one arm up and then the other. So we're reaching with a flat hand and pulling down with a fist, back and forth. Like you're trying to reach something up there on the ceiling. Ah! So my arm is getting longer. Ah! Each time. And we'll go one more time each side. And then we'll lift the shoulders up to the ears, roll back, lift and roll, lift. Woo! A couple more times, lift and roll. And then the circle with the tip of the nose. So we finally made it to the tippy top of the body. Hopefully you're feeling some energy moving throughout your entire body. Let's circle the other way. So we think of yoga as being a bunch of stretches, right? A bunch of postures. But yoga, so much about it is just moving energy, stretching fascia, connective tissue. And then let's bring the head back to center. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then let's turn and look at the shoulder. Now, what's your jaw doing? Let's relax our mouth and our jaw. And then back out again and lift up. And then let's let the left ear drop down. Our shoulders are heavy here, so we're not holding any tension through the shoulders. Okay, we practiced that enough already. And then let's turn and look at the shoulder. And then we're going to come back out and up. And let's come to our hands and knees. All righty. Hands and knees, fists and knees, or forearms and knees. Let's run through our cat-cow vinyasa. So let's look down, pull your shoulders away from your ears. Let your feet disappear behind your thighs. Take a breath in and round it up on the exhalation, chin to chest, tail to chin. And as we inhale, we move the opposite way. Take your time. Remember, we're not rushing. We have all the time we need to move into cat and to move into cow. If you want to practice that breath we did at the very beginning, holding on the in-breath, hang out in cow for a couple breaths. Back bends are always more energizing than forward bends. So another thing to think about if you need energy, bending backwards. Let's take another breath in and out. Come back to your neutral. Let's do a tap with the feet. Woo! And then let's tuck our toes and push back. So hips back towards heels, just to stretch the toes. We're not trying to move into child's pose here. I'm just trying to give us a stretch for our calves, for our feet, for our ankles, for our toes. Really get in there and breathe. And then let's come back to our table. And if you like your toes tucked, keep them tucked. And if you like your feet flat, flatten them out. We'll do our side to side. So I'm going to let my hips rock to the left, look over my right shoulder at my feet. Inhale through the middle. Exhale to the other side. So back and forth. Keeping my neck neutral, keeping my eyes on the ground. Let's go one more time each direction. And then let's come back to neutral. So let's sit back in Vajrasana just for a second. I feel like I need to give my wrists a little bit of a rest. So if Vajrasana doesn't work for you, then here might work for you. We're going back to our hands and knees. So shake, tell your wrists that you're sorry about what they've been through. And then we're going to come back here. Okay, so from here, let's extend the right leg out to the right side. So that leg is now perpendicular to the rest of you. And we're going to lift the left arm up. So left arm comes up and out to the left. Take a breath. As we exhale, we're going to slide that underneath the right arm. So we're coming into our rotation from table. So if you don't feel a stretch in your shoulder, your left shoulder, take hold of your wrist with your right hand and slide your arm longer on the floor. And either keep your right hand where it is or feel free to rotate a little bit more by pulling that arm behind you or wrapping to your waist. So threading the needle. If you're uncomfortable here and you can't get your shoulder or your head to the floor, put a blanket underneath your shoulder and your head to raise the floor up to you. Breathing in, breathing out, hopefully squeezing out some of that tension in your low back. Take another breath. And then the right hand will come down and help you get out. So you still got your right leg extended. Drop your right hip just a toints. And you should feel a nice big stretch moving down your inner thigh, part of your hip. Breathe in, breathe out, enjoy that. And then let's lift up the leg, slide it around to the other side. So now it's on the left side of your mat. We're going to rock our hips over to the right side and turn and look over your left shoulder, shoulder at your right foot. There it is. Breathe in, breathe out. So that's a stretch we don't usually get. Let's bring the leg back behind us and underneath. If you need to do the same thing for your wrists that we did before, couple circles, feel free to do that. You can always come to your neutral wrist. Let's extend the left leg. Now it's perpendicular. We're going to bring the right arm up, out to the right side, bring it under you, slide it. Do you need help from your left hand to make your arm a little longer? Where is your left arm going to land? We don't want any pressure on the neck or the head, so rock your hips back towards your heel, towards that right heel. Take the pressure. I can lift my head off the floor. There's absolutely no pressure on my head. It's all on my shoulder. Breathe in. Enjoy the shape that you are. You did a different shape. You asked your body to do something it doesn't usually do, and it said, okay. Thank you, body. Let's take another breath. And then we're going to put the left hand back on the floor. Roll yourself up. Drop your left hip just that little bit. And then we're going to take that foot over to the other side. So a little slide to the other side. Let your hips rock to the left. Turn and look over your right shoulder at your feet. And then we're coming back to the middle. Let's do a down dog. So tucking toes, we're going to lift ourselves into dog. We'll do a little walking. And then let's walk our feet forward to our hands. Let's walk our hands back towards our feet. Bend your knees, drop your head. Relax your shoulders, neck, and jaw. And then let's walk our hands to the outside of our right foot. Turn your right foot to point at that space between your hands. Both of my knees are bent a little bit. Let's walk our hands through the middle, all toes forward. And then to the other side, let's turn the left foot out. Drop your head. You're looking back at your legs. And then back through the middle we come. We're going to bend the knees, lengthen the spine, and stand up. I'm still looking at my toes until I know that I can lift my head without being dizzy. Let's stand in mountain pose. Let's do our half sun salutation. So we'll bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, reach it up. Now's your chance to get big and expand everywhere. Soft knees brings us all the way forward, exhaling. Come part way up and take a breath. Exhale, we're folding over. Then inhale up. And exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach. Remember, we're taking our time. We have nowhere to go. We're really feeling each part of the movement. Come part way up. Exhale. All the way up. And back to your heart. Again, feel your arms moving through space. Feel your fingers moving through space. Feel your feet underneath you. Come part way up. Fold over. Up we come. And back to the heart. Let's do one more in silence. And then we'll rise up to the balls of our feet. Let your arms lift up. Palm tree pose. Targeting those pretty little toes of yours again. Here we are, making them work this time. Find your gaze point. You can always have your arms low if you want to. Here, right? Just use your feet. That's number one priority. Take a breath, and then we'll exhale and release. Now, we're back in mountain pose. Check the softness of your knees. We're keeping them a little bit soft. Let's pay attention to your feet just for a moment without trying to do anything. Just go, okay, I feel my feet underneath me. And then lift up your toes and notice what happens in the arches of your feet, right there in the midline of your foot. So in lifting the toes engages the muscles in the arches of your feet. Keep your knees a little bit soft because it's really easy to hyperextend your knees here. Breathe. Heart stays lifted. I've got my ears over my shoulders. And then let's release, and we're going to do a shake. All right. In yoga, when we do our pranayama or breathing exercises, the ones that focus on the inhalation are the ones that are more energizing. So if you need more energy, you focus on pranayama that focus on the in-breath. So one of my favorites is Breath of Joy for building energy. This is kind of like when I feel like I want to take a nap, and I hate taking naps. So I would do the Breath of Joy instead, or instead of getting a cup of coffee at 2 p.m. Okay, so this is an energizing breath. We've got 3 quick breaths through the nose, big exhalation out the mouth, and the arms, in case someone out there doesn't know it, halfway up in the front, halfway up to the side, all the way up. And today we're going to go forward. So bend the knees and all the way forward. This is the exhalation. The knees stay bent. Otherwise, it's a lot of strain on your hamstrings, which attach at your sitting bones here. So if your legs are straight, it's a lot of force at that point. So keep your knees bent. This breath is not for you if you have high blood pressure unmedicated, if you have had a brain tumor, a stroke, glaucoma. Okay, so anything that your doctor has said, do not build any extra pressure in your head. You're going to stay here and you're not going forward. You can do almost just as much as us without going forward. All right, so let's do these. We'll do 9 of them, starting together. Bend your knees. Last one. Stay here all the way down in the forward fold. We're going to hang out. Notice how you feel. And then bend your knees. Let your belly rest on your thighs. Arms come next to your ears. We'll come into chair pose. Another energizing posture. Shift your weight to your heels. I like to look at the floor here. A lot of people look out. I just like neutral neck as much as possible. Now we're going to come up at the same time, shift to your right foot, bring your left knee into your chest. Woo, posture correction. Let's get our ears over our shoulders. Find your gaze point. That's a hard transition, in case you think you're the only one that had a hard time with that. Breathing. Remember, we left judgment. We kicked it to the curb. We're having fun. We're playing. Let's come back into our chair. Reset to your chair. Okay, here we are. You know what we're doing. We're going to the other side. So we're going to start to stand up. And as we do, shift all of your weight to your left foot. Bring your right knee up. Open up. Breathe. And then let's release. Woo! I'm starting to feel more energy already. Let's take our legs wide. So standing postures and back bends are going to build energy in your practice. That's why we don't do them right before bed. That's when you do your forward folds and your rotations, your twists. So with your legs wide, and wide is a relative term, just wider than hip distance, okay? Be really wide, not so wide. Feel the four corners of your feet. Let's turn our toes out. So now they're not parallel anymore. Feet are not parallel anymore. And we're going to bring our arms up here, 5-pointed star. Take a breath. As we exhale, let your knees start to bend and bring them out over your feet. So not to you're not dropping in, you're going out, right? This is goddess pose, also a nice pose for building energy. Let's think about our feet briefly by rising up to the balls of our feet again. This time a little bit more challenging. We'll build a little more energy in the body. Let's release, fold forward. Adjust your feet now so that they are pointing forward. So now you have parallel feet again. Knees are soft. Let's turn our hands around and walk them back behind us. Let your head just hang from your neck. Let your jaw go slack. Your knees can be bent. Check that you have equal weight on the four corners of your feet. Woo! And then we'll walk our hands out. Keep your fingers pointed back. Let's stretch our forearms a bit. You can make this easier for yourself by bending your knees a lot or by using your block. If the floor needs to be a few inches higher, 4 inches higher to be exact, if you're using a block. We'll take another breath. Let's walk our feet together, heel toe, heel toe. That's the fun part. And then we'll walk back out into down dog. Let's come into plank position, inhaling, energy, energy. Exhale to dog. Inhale to plank or half plank. You can have your knees on the ground. Come on back to dog. Last one, plank. Exhale, dog. Let's come down to our knees, back to our heels. We're going to take a rest after that. I like to put a little space in between my knees, snuggle down in there. You know, there's lots of different ways to hold this pose. Let go. Let go. And then let's slide out. Speaking of back bends, and let's stay on our forearms. We can do gentle back bends and still build a little bit of energy. So feet comfortable distance from each other, just wherever they land. Lengthen your legs so they feel long. We're pressing the floor away. If you want a little more energy, lift your belly off the floor. If you don't care to do that, then leave your belly on the floor. Just work on lifting your head out of your shoulders. Breathing. Sphinx pose. And then let's come down, slide our arms down beside us. Keep your shoulders lifted away from the floor. Look down, lift both of your feet. So you're kind of balancing there on your pubic bone. My feet they can't be more than 2 or 3 inches off the ground. I'm thinking long here. I'm thinking about pointing my toes and really lengthening out my legs. Let's take one more breath. And whoo, let go. Let your arms and legs and head go any which way, and wiggle, wiggle your hips. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then let's slide our hands underneath our shoulders. Let's come up to table. We're going to do pigeon from here. Okay, so if you know that pigeon is a painful thing for you from this position, go to your back. I'll join you there in a moment. If you prefer pigeon from down dog, come to down dog. We're going to bring the right knee in between the hands, slide the left leg long. Let's come up to our fingertips, tuck your left toes under and see if you can lift your knee off the ground. You don't have to do that, but if you do that while we're upright here in pigeon, you'll feel a nice stretch through your hip flexor in the front of your left leg. If that's too much for you, just relax your leg on the floor. Those of you who are on your back, you've got your right leg crossed over your left, your right hand slides through, both hands join around your left shin or under it, or you're using your strap to pull both your legs in. Those of you who are upright, go ahead and relax your left leg, and then let's fold over the knee. And we'll come into our reclined pigeon position and work on, if there is such a thing, work on relaxing into it, relaxing your left knee. Is that the place where I always find that I'm holding a little tension when I'm in this pose? Work on relaxing your right hip, your shoulders, your neck, your face. Breathe in, breathe out. And then let's lift up on an in breath, on and out breath. Doesn't have to be the very next one. Find your way back into your dog or your table. If you're on your back, change legs. We're going to bring the left knee in between the hands. Onto our fingertips we go, only if you want to. Lift your right knee off the floor, only if you want to. And relax your shoulders away from your ears. Feel the strength of your fingers. We had strong fingers doing yoga. That's awesome. All right, so let's breathe a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to relax the right leg if it's lifted. And let yourself go down over your left knee. Try to keep your pelvis level on the floor without tipping. You can always stuff a prop underneath your left hip if you like. Spine is more neutral if you stay on your forearms. There are lots of different ways to find the perfect pigeon for your body. Let's breathe in again. Let it go. And then up we come. We're going to come to table. So everybody to table. Then to our heels, Vajrasana. Don't worry, we're not staying here. We're going to let the hips rock to the right side of the feet. So we're sitting with our mermaid tail over here on the left. Hold on to your ankle left ankle, left hand, our first lateral bend. So let's lift up the right arm and exhale, big bend over towards the left side. Feel all the extra space in your rib cage. And then we'll come back up again. Swish your little tail to the other side. Hold on to your right ankle with your right hand. Left arm comes up. And we'll inhale here, exhale to the other side. And then let's release the stretch. We'll come all the way back up. We're going to straighten out our legs. All right. Relax your quadriceps right here, upper thighs, and take your hands to your kneecaps. Let's do some kneecap circles. We haven't done these for a little while. Oh boy. Simple, simple, simple. Happy, happy, happy. Let's circle the other way. And then let's cross the right leg over the left. Just to get your foot closer, let's interlace our fingers with our toes. Since feet were requested, we'll do, this is my favorite toe exercise. We're going to circle around. Circle those little toes around. And circle the other way. By the way, this is super uncomfortable for me. So if you think, why does this feel uncomfortable? You are not alone. But I know it's good for me getting those little toes to wake up from their shoe slumber. Okay, and then we're going to spread our fingers nice and wide. Stretch the spaces in between our toes. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then we're going to release that stretch. Take your hand out and try to put your toes on your instep. So we're rolling over the bottom of the foot, stretching that space right at the base of the toes. It's an important place for allergy season. Eyes, ears, sinuses, all of that in your toes. Brain. Your brain is in your big toe. Okay, and then we're going to take our fist, little pinky side, gently pummeling the bottom of the foot all over the place. Then let's stretch out the legs and let's just pay attention to our feet for a moment. Close your eyes if you can, if you want to. Notice the difference side to side. And then let's change to the other side. So interlacing right fingers with left toes, in they go. We'll do some circles. Try to relax your right leg. It gets to take a rest. So circling the other way. Then let's spread the fingers. Stretch those little spaces in between your toes. But when you do this, you realize you don't really do that ever, right? When do we ever do that? And then we're going to release that and push down on the back of the toes, roll them over towards your instep. Over we go. Over we go. Over we go. And then we're going to pummel. So make your fist. That little tap all over the place. That foot is one of the most beautifully designed structure that there ever was. All right, and we're going to release and stretch out your foot and feel the energy flowing through your body. Ah, what a good feeling. Let's cross our legs any way you want. Let's do a circle around. So we're all warmed up. Do a big circle if you can. Big circles so that you feel the stretch in your low back when you move through that forward fold. And then we'll circle the other way. And then we'll take legs wide. Knees might be bent, legs might be straight. Again, this is a relative term. Wide is relative. What does wide mean to you? You might choose to sit on your blanket or pillow at this point, especially if you feel yourself doing this. Okay. I'm trying to go forward, but my pelvis is going the other direction. That's when you know you need the prop, because you want to hinge from the hip crease and move in the forward fold. And that's where we're headed. You might choose to flex your feet. That's going to intensify the stretch. You might choose to relax your feet. We're all going to keep the spine neutral. Remember our neutral curves of the spine. We love those neutral curves. So that's why we hinge from the hip creases, so we can keep the spine neutral. Couple more breaths. And then let's release the stretch. We're going to bring the legs closer to each other and keep going to the ground. To our backs, we are here. Relax yourself. And then relax yourself again. Boy, when I said that the second time, then my shoulders relaxed. So I know that there's little pockets of tension hiding in my body. Take your time. Notice where they are. Soften them. And then we'll bend our knees. Bring our hands down beside us, and let's do bridge pose. Bridge pose would be an energy producing posture. Let's inhale and lift. Now, if you like the way it feels to hold it up, hold it up. If you prefer today to move in and out for that little massage along the muscles of the spine, along the spine, feel free. Whatever you want to do. You've got your inner thighs engaged. You've got your hamstrings engaged. Let's try lifting our toes up, see what happens. So balancing on the heel to make this a little more challenging for our hamstrings. Lift a little higher. Of course, if you're coming in and out, you don't need to do this. Let's take another breath. We'll lower our feet and lower our back. All the way down. Knees coming to chest, wrap around to give yourself a hug and a little rock. And then sliding the arms out to T. Let's release the knees to the right. Turn your head to the left. Soften into your twist. Relax your shoulders on the floor. Float your mouth open, but keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth so the breath still flows through your nose.
Long breaths in, longer breaths out. And then the left knee lifts, the right knee says, wait for me. And over they go to the other side. Turn your head to the right. And then they come back to the middle. Both knees to the middle. Let's take hold of the feet. Happy baby. We'll do one last little stretch for the hips. Rocking or not. Deciding if this happy baby is enough for you or if there's something else you need to do before we move into relaxation. We're taking another breath here. And then releasing the legs, we'll stretch them out. Either to constructive rest pose or Shavasana, or if there's something else that works for you that's better than each of these, then feel free. But allow yourself to be in a place of relaxation, in a place where you can practice for the next few moments, letting go of the layers of tension that you hold in your body. Let go, let go, let go. Little breath, quiet breath, gentle breath flowing through your body. Relax a little bit more. Let go even a little bit more.
Let's begin to deepen the breath again. Letting fingers and toes move, letting your head turn. And then we'll bend the knees one at a time. Roll to the right side. Come to fetal position. Take a moment in gratitude for your body and for your breath, for the rain, for the sun that's come back again, and for this practice, which gives us a little respite from the stresses of life and moves energy through our bodies. And then when you're ready, push yourself up. And we'll come to seated position. And I saved a little bit of time here to talk not only about an energizing breath being one where you focus on an inhalation, but if you focus on the right nostril. So we're going to do right nostril breathing. It's a more energizing breath. It's called Surya Badana Pranayama, which means sun piercing breath. The other, when we do left nostril breathing, it's more relaxing. It's called Chandra Badana Pranayama, which is moon piercing breath. So we're going to focus on the sun channel, which is the right nostril. And so we use the same hand position that we do for alternate nostril breathing, right? So thumb is on the right nostril. So second and third fingers are on the forehead. Fourth is on the left nostril. Okay, so when we go back and forth, that's the fingers you'll use. So let's just use the fourth nostril right now. We're going to exhale all the way. The right nostril is open, and we'll breathe in through the right nostril. Take a deep breath all the way down into the belly, close the right nostril, and exhale through the left. Keeping the jaw soft. So we'll do that again. Close the left, open the right, take a breath in. Close the right, open the left, breathe out the left. So we're always breathing in through the right, always breathing out through the left. So let's do that for a few more breaths. You'll be on your own. Let's take one more breath in through the right, out through the left. And then releasing your arm, your hand. And just noticing. Maybe you notice nothing at all. Maybe you notice more energy in your body. Maybe you feel more awake. Let's bring our hands together in front of the heart center as we close our practice together. Here, honor yourself for who you are, just as you are, just as you were intended to be. We honor each other in the same way. We honor all people and all the creatures of the earth. We honor this earth and feel gratitude for the many gifts that we enjoy in abundance every day. We feel our connection to each other, to all people, to all beings, and to all things on earth. And let's share our voices in the sound of our practice, in the sound of Om, taking a deep breath together. Om. May peace, joy, love, compassion, gratitude fill your heart today and every day to overflowing. Namaste. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out today. Let's do an affirmation card, courtesy of Louise Hay. I am willing to forgive. Sometimes I feel like the people that do these cards must be 20 years old because they do, dark purple and light purple. They do, I'm like, wait till you're my age. You won't be able to read that card you just made, All right. Forgiveness of myself and others releases me from the past. Forgiveness is the answer to almost every problem. Forgiveness is a gift to myself. I forgive and I set myself free. See what I mean about that purple on purple there?
Yes.
All right. So we're all going to forgive somebody today, I guess, including yourself. And have a wonderful day. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Thank you.